All right, Shalom. Giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shah, Ba'asham Rachak, Wadash, double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of the tabernacles of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and wherever you may be, to I say Shalom. Yahshua Shalom. All right, going to get into a short lesson here. Should be short anyways. This first thing here I have on the screen is based off, something I posted the other day about the UBI, which we all know about the UBI, but then this thing here is called a GBI. All right, so the UBI stands for Basic Income, and the GBI stands for Guaranteed Basic Income. All right, so the GBI is a social welfare approach that provides regular, unconditional. All right, provides regular, right, unconditional cash payments to a targeted group of people. All right, and it's going to tell you who that group is right down below, to supplement their income and ensure a financial floor below which no one can fall. All right, so it sounds very similar to the UBI, right? This is one is called the GBI. It says, unlike universal basic income, UBI, which is given to all citizens regardless of need, GBI is typically targeted toward low income or marginalized communities. And who's that usually? Huh? Jake. Mainly the number one on the list would be Judah. All right, and then on down. All right, but it's those Israelite communities that are at the lowest because of where we are right now. Based on the prophecies, key characteristics. Not saying that everybody, obviously not, because there's Jake that have better means than others. All right, and there's even some that are doing very well, right? Going about in a day, or not every day, but when I'm out and about, there's Jakes with very nice homes. So I'm not saying everybody's in a poverty-stricken place, but I'm just saying, in this particular sense, the low income or marginalized communities, that's mainly Jake. All right, key characteristics: targeted. GBI programs are designed to assist specific populations. All right, check this out, such as low income residents, stated twice, formerly incarcerated individuals, or mothers in poverty, rather than the entire population. All right, so like I said, it's very similar to the UBI. Okay, but this is like a different form of it. Unconditional. Recipients can use the funds however they see fit, without without work requirements. Okay, and now which even like with Snap, I don't know how I changed them now, but with Snap before, you would have to uh constantly like apply for jobs. Like when it was time for you to check in or renew or whatever, they will ask you if you've been applying to jobs. All right, and so obviously people were applying to jobs, even receiving Snap. The thing is that these women who are just using the system, all right, they probably got no Section 8 housing. Okay, they're applying for the jobs, but no intention as to actually, seek the employer out so they can just sit home and continue receiving benefits and misuse the system. Okay, so it says, recipients, because can you imagine, which is crazy because formerly incarcerated individuals, people that come home from prison can get jobs, and a lot of times better jobs than people who are already out in society. But this says recipients can use the funds however they see fit, without work requirements or conditions on how the money is spent. Okay, which of course, um that would change, all right, if they put that forward, because ultimately everything is leading up to the MOTB. We all know that, the ultimate control system. All right, so if they will allow people to use this, and of course that's going to change, because when you do deal with the UBI, there's restrictions. All right, on I mean, if they put in restrictions on something as simple as what you could buy with Snap, then what more restrictions on things you could buy with cash money that the government themselves would be giving people, with universal basic income every month, loading you up with what you need to pay your bills every month. All right, so of course restrictions come with that, and that's why the chip is so important. All right, because the chip can monitor all those things. Okay, and it gives them that control system that they're looking for. All right, and then what they can't figure out through the chip, which probably won't be too many things, Well, that's where the Palantir system comes in, or so, or at least, well, I mean, I guess you could say Palantir, but in other words, the mass surveillance. All right, so they be able to know everything, watch everything, they know everything about you, and they're watching your vital signs, your health records, your what everything. All right, I mean, how else can you say it? All right, it goes on to say supplemental. GBI is usually intended to supplement, not replace existing social safety net programs. All right. Regular payments. Funds are typically distributed on a monthly basis to provide a consistent and predictable source of income. Same thing like the UBI. All right. Goals and intended impact. Poverty reduction. GBI aims to substantially reduce poverty and economic insecurity by providing a stable financial foundation. Improve well-being. Evidence from pilot programs suggests it can lead to improved physical and mental health, better food security, and greater housing stability. Economic mobility. Recipients have used the funds for the funds for education, job training, or starting a business, leading to increased opportunities for long-term prosperity. Yeah, you can throw that one out the window. Empowerment and dignity. By providing unconditional cash, GBI embodies an ethos of trust and respect, allowing individuals to autonomy, allowing individuals the autonomy to make the best decisions for themselves and their families. Yeah, and there ain't gonna be too many decisions when they put restrictions on things, okay? Because Esau's coming system ain't about freedom; it's about slavery. It's about oppression, okay? And I think even the curses say that we will only be oppressed always. Now, to overall things, yes, everybody, right? Not just Jake, everybody in Babylon, okay? Which really that could spread over the whole world. But we always speak in general with Jake, all right? Current status, more than 160 guaranteed income pilot programs have been launched across 33 states and Washington, D.C. as of January 2025. These programs are testing the effectiveness of the model in diverse communities. At the federal level, lawmakers have proposed pilot programs such as the Guaranteed Income Pilot Program Act of 2025. I believe we went into that the last time. Not going to grab it this time. If I'm correct, that was the same thing we went into, which would establish a 3-year nationwide experiment. Yeah, I believe that was it. Yep. And I think they said they were expecting results as early as January 2026, something like that, if I'm correct. That's what it was. Unless it was this year. I believe it was next year. But anyways, the results from many of these pilots, including the Stockton Economic Empowerment Demonstration, or SEED, okay, Stockton Economic Empowerment Demonstration, okay, aka SEED, and the Magnolia Mothers Trust are being studied to build evidence for potential large-scale permanent policies. All right. So just double backing on this uh GBI topic here, because I want to actually get into something else. So we'll transition over there now. Now I was I was reading which I we've all pulled this verse before, and I actually went into a word and made me want to actually do this lesson there, but I wanted to bring that back up first. So moving over here, Revelation 12:12, it says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil has come down unto you, having great wrath." Now, who's the devil? All right, the devil are the Edomites. The devil is the Edomites, all right, Diabolos. Prone to slander, slanderous, accusing falsely, a calumniator, a false accuser, a slanderer. Here's the key right here to the things we read up above. Metaphorically, apply to a man, which is really a group of people, a nation of people, more so, a man who, by opposing the cause of the Most High, may be said to act the part of the devil or to side with him. And that is the Edomites, which, as of now, these top elite bankers, all right, are the ones that are the chief in the chief seat. Job 9:24 reads, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?" And let's get this word wicked. Why not? Look, wicked, look, criminal. Criminal. Because going back to their forefather, um, well, I get not really forefather, but in their family tree, their lineage. All right. But anyways, going back to Cain, man. Okay. He was a criminal. He was a murderer. And the scripture say that it says he was a murderer from the beginning. right? Don't the scripture say that? Doesn't that line up with the Edomites? Okay. Cain slew his own brother and then lied about it and said, I don't, I'm my brother's keeper. What do you mean? All right. His blood cried out. What blood? What are you talking about? Okay. And then he became what? A fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. All right. Going around, wandering. All right. And that replayed itself out under Jacob and Esau based on the birthright situation. That's what it's all is centered around, the birthright. And he says, when the days of my father, more than my father at hand, I'm going to slay my brother Jacob. It replayed itself out. So the criminal, all right, the false accuser, the calumniator, the slanderer, wicked, criminal. Okay, he says, what did the scripture say? Um, thou slanderest thy own mother's son. Okay, look, guilty one guilty of crime, wicked. Look, there you go. See, hostile to the highest. See, and when you go to Psalm the 83rd chapter, Esau is the first one mentioned, and then also mentions their chief house, which is Amalek, the propeller hats that are over there. Right, wicked, guilty of sin against the Most High or man. Okay, so who is he? It's the Edomites, beginning with the top elite bankers. All right, so there you go. All right, so we know that. It says, and he's come down unto you having great wrath. Okay? Let's get the word for wrath. I don't think I pulled that word up before. Wrath. Thymos. Look, passion, angry, heat, anger forthwith, boiling up and soon subsiding again. What did it say in Obadiah 1, Amos 1? Because you kept your anger forever, perpetually, right? Against your brother Jacob. Glow, ardor, the wine, passion. So we don't really need that. Okay, yeah. So come down having great wrath, okay? Because he knoweth that he hath but a short time, all right? A short time to what? To fulfill his purpose, which is to so-called operate this enterprise, this new world order, and issue out the micro C hip, okay? Now getting down to the other portion I wanted to get into, because I really, I threw that verse in there, but I really wanted to get down here. It says that when the dragon saw, so the dragon is pretty much the empire of these Edomites, man. Okay, so when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man child. All right, who's this woman? The nation of Israel. The man child being Yahushua. He was born of Joseph and Mary of the tribe of Judah. Okay, so the woman being the Israelites. Okay, and the child being Yahushua. And to the woman were given two wings of a great eagle. Going into the time period of 70 AD, where the Romans came, which the Lord himself, right, speaking of the man child, the Lord prophesied. All right, Matthew 24, Luke 21, I think it's and both of them should be because they're similar chapters. All right, but he says, when you shall see Jerusalem compassed about with armies, okay, those that are on the rooftops, uh, don't come down to gather things or something like that. Those that are outside of the city don't come back, and so on and so forth. All right, just kind of roughly paraphrase. All right, basically, well, many of us were deleted, some were captured, and the rest scattered, and the majority of those that scattered ended up in so-called Africa. All right, so to the woman were given two wings of a great eagle, all right, that she might fly into the wilderness into her place. All right, so that swift destruction of 70 AD came. Excuse me, but some of us got away, and then eventually, let's keep reading. It said that she might fly into the wilderness into her place, all right, running and hiding in Africa, all right, and then eventually, all right, into her place, eventually coming over here to Babylon the Great. All right, as a matter of fact, let me get this. I think that's 17, Ezekiel 17, or was it 31? Okay, no, it's in this one right here. Ezekiel 17:4. He cropped off the top of his young twigs and carried it into a land of traffic. He said in a city of merchants. All right. And you go in this word traffic here, Canaan. I think it's Canaan. Yeah, Canaan. All right. Lowland. Look, merchant trader. Okay. Then merchants, the word merchants, recall, all right, trafficker, trader. Okay, in Joel 3, it mentions that you were sold into the. Let me get that real quick. Why not? Let me get that real quick. I was trying to make another point, but it's okay. We'll just go with it. Um, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered, see, scattered among the nations and parted my land. And they have cast lots for my people. All right, what's a lot? Pebbles used for systematically making decisions. Portion, right? So there you go. So basically, it's just going to having us as cargo, right? Slave people, but we were seen as cargo. We were brought over on cargo ships, or at least the southern kingdom. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. Okay, so if we go back here, it says he cropped off the top of his young twigs and carried it into a land of traffic. He set it in a city of merchants. Okay, he took also of the seed of the land and planted it in a fruitful field. He placed it by great waters, and it set as a willow tree. So this is referring to Babylon the Great, America, the West. All right, the great waters. What do you see? All right, to the east and to the west, you see great waters. Okay, the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. And so this verse here links up with Revelation 18 chapter. I'm gonna see if it's a cross reference there. Yeah, we got one. Yep, as well as Jeremiah, because Jeremiah links up with Revelation 18 chapter. Let me see what they got here. This is Isaiah 43. Oh, that's a good one. Chaldeans was cries in the ships, right? Um, oh, there was two in Isaiah. I must have missed that one. Look, that's a good. Let me just read both of them. Isaiah 43 and 14. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. For your sake I have sent to Babylon, and I brought down all their nobles and the Chaldeans whose cries in the ships. Isaiah 47 and 15. Thus shall they be unto thee with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth. They shall wander every one to his quarter, none shall save thee. Okay, getting to the ones we want to get though. Jeremiah 51. Actually, Revelation 18, but we'll read Jeremiah 51 and 13. O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness. All right. Which, you can liken that to what we read, by the great waters. But also, when you own, like we'll say for ancient times reference, where you own, like if you look at like ancient Rome in the area that they possessed, they had the borders on lock. So when you own the borders, all right, you really have things locked down, and you have a great surplus and flow of money because you control those ports, those docks, all right. Which I believe that's in Ezekiel. I can't remember the chapter. I want to say it's 28, but it mentions the Prince of Tyre or Tyrus or something like that. Okay, same thing there. That links up with also Revelation the 18th chapter. But let me read the 18th chapter of Revelation. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants, you see, of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And it's talking about all these companies that are here, all right? And the cargo ships, the trade, all these different, sea trade routes that the other nations do with America, okay, which gives them, that great, the money, abundance of money that they make from this place. It's a cash cow, in other words. America's a cash cow for these nations, all right? And a lot of that money is generated off the backs of the Israelites. Okay, what we pour into the society. Okay, not saying we're the only ones, but just majority of that does come from the Israelites, man. And there it is again, just twice. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buy their merchandise anymore, because the Babylon is going to be destroyed by fire. Okay, and so people are gonna, that's going to be it. That's going to be the end of Babylon. So they're going to cry over it. The merchandise of gold and silver, and precious stones and pearls, and fine linen and purple and silk, and scarlet and all fine wood, and all manner of vessels of ivory, and all manner of vessels of most precious wood, and of brass and of iron, and marble, and cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, because everything's burnt up, no more. And all things which are dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. The merchant of these things which were made rich by her. See, there's three times. I mean, if you include the other chapters, more than that, but just in these few verses here, the merchants, the other nations, okay, how they make business in and off of Babylon. All right, the merchants of these things, which were made rich by her. Her who? Right, the great whore, America, Babylon the Great, the West. All right, revival of the ancient Roman Empire, spiritual Sodom and Egypt, shall stand afar off, because they're going to be home, because the missiles are going to come launched over here. For the fear of the of her, for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, businesses that makes money. All right. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? Now, let's get back on topic here, okay? I know we don't know a little side mission there, but it's okay, because it brings it all together anyway. So he cropped off the top of his young twigs and carried it into a land of traffic. He set into a city of merchants. So just, establishing Babylon the Great, the land of traffic, the land of merchants, so on and so forth. Okay. It says he also took of the seed of the land and planted it in a fruitful field. He placed it by great waters and set it as a willow tree. And that's us Israelites coming over here, which takes us back to, if we can get over there, Revelation. There you go. All right. So it says that she might fly into the wilderness where we hid out in Africa, then were picked up in a slave trade, then were brought over here into her place, into Babylon the Great. Was that Jeremiah? The children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. Where? That's here in the West, on these shores. Okay. It says, into her place where she is nourished for a time and times and a half a time from the face of the serpent. These devils, all right, the Edomites. Okay. So now the word I wanted to get into is just G5142, which is the word nourished. Okay. That's what drew me want to do this quick lesson here. All right. So nourished. All right. And I saw this here. Okay. It says the idea of convolution properly to stiffen it. Look, it says an example, fatten by implication, to cherish. Look, with food. All right. To cherish with food. And then this is what really was like, yeah, I gotta do this, because I saw the word pamper. Pamper. Okay. And this is what the end of is spazzing out. All right. She's not the only one on these assistance programs, but she's the only one spazzing out, losing her mind on camera. Right. Indulge. Well, there's probably some others too, but mostly her, I'll say. Look, it says indulge with every attention, comfort, and kindness. Spoil. All right. Harm the character of someone, especially a child, by being too lenient or indulgent. Now, this is more. Now I went down here. I saw this. All right. So it says indulge with every attention, comfort, and kindness. Spoil. And then it says Low German and Dutch and English, the word pap. Late Middle English, it became pamper. What does it say here? Cram with food. Cram with food, man. Okay. And this is what she's ragging about right now, because she can't cram herself with food. Now she's going out and getting caught for trying to steal the groceries. Then you got other ones coming online and backing up and boosting. Go on, steal and do this and that. Just right on camera, man. All right, pamper, to cram with food, man. You can't make this up, okay? Cram, gorge, right? And so I've been thinking about lessons brothers have been doing, okay, about this topic, because it's a very hot topic, because we're all waiting to see, all right, what's going to be, okay? What is it going to be? What's it going to be, Doc? What's it going to be? Okay, pamper, cram with food. Okay, so going back, it says to cherish with food, etc. Pamper, rear, bring up. Rear, bring it up. Same thing, meaning. All right, feed, nourish. Okay, so going down here, to nourish, to support, feed, to give suck, to fatten, to bring up, to nurture. But what did it say though in the scripture? It says where she is nourished for a time. All right, this was only for a season. Okay, see, they didn't count on Yahweh Shem Shah. They counted on Esau Edom. See, they counted on Esau Edom, and I was going to get some more scriptures. Because I got a couple earlier. I think what I got the Isaiah 32. All right, a man shall be a covert from the storm. Also the 32 and what 9. All right, rise up, you careless women that are at ease. Okay. Um. Hey, I mean we get a couple of those. Lamentations 4. Right, they that be slain. Look, I got to get that one. Verse 8. Their visage is blacker than a coal. They are not known in the streets. Their skin cleaveth to their bones. It is withered. It is become like a stick. All right, because these women, all right, about to about to lose it. Okay, and hey, everybody's gonna be in survival mode, and they're not gonna really have food like that. So what does it say here? They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger, for these pine away, stricken through for the wants of the fruits of the field. The hands of the pitiful women have sodden their own children. Okay, they were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people, because the women have a great humbling. All right, they have put themselves. Well, really, Esau's done it. Put themselves in a position of a man, and even higher than that. Right? Children are our oppressors, and women rule over them. Okay, so it's time to humble. I'll catch that in a second. It's time to humble these women. All right, and bring them down. Okay, to that humbling position. I want to get also Isaiah 9, all right, just to speak about this topic real quick, okay, and 9, actually, no, I don't want 9, what is it, let me see, get down here, past it, okay, no, it's not, it's down here, yep, let's just get 19, the point is in 20, through the wrath, Isaiah 9 and 19, of the Lord Yahweh of hosts is the land darkened, okay, and under the cruel Lord, the land's going to get darker and darker. But this is all will of the Lord on the left-hand side to bring forth judgment, and also ultimately to bring forth the kingdom, because these things have to happen before the kingdom comes. All right, but there's judgment. All right, before those things. It says a host is the land darkened, and the people shall be as the fuel of the fire. The people shall be as the fuel of the fire. No man shall spare his brother, and he shall snatch on the right hand and be hungry. Excuse me, and he shall eat on the left hand, and they shall not be satisfied. They shall eat every man the flesh of his own arm. Manasseh, Ephraim, Manasseh, and they together shall be against Judah. For all this, his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still, because that's judgment. Okay, that's judgment to come. All right, where there's going to be a famine to the point where people are going to eat one another. Cannibalism is gonna all right, be active. All right, yeah, I was about to say in the states, but really all over. Okay, cannibalism is going to be a thing. All right, and the women are going to eat their children. I know I said this quite a few times before, and I'm gonna say it again here. You're gonna have women who are gonna end up eating their children, all right, and then turn around and still take the device, and then guess what? Probably still don't get food from Esau. Okay, he still starved them out, man. How devastating will that be to a person's soul? All right, cut them, because that will cut real deep. For you to eat your child, you be so low that you eat your child. Then afterwards, because if you took the device afterwards, then you might as well have just took it before, man. You know, but you eat your child, take the device, then still not get fed, man. Man, that'd be a very heavy, devastating judgment. Okay. I was about to get one more scripture. Man, it's a snatch on the right hand, they shall eat on the left hand, they shall not be satisfied, they shall eat every man the flesh of his own arm. Slip my mind what scripture that was. I'm trying to think here for a quick second if it comes back or not. Um, I can't think of it. It's all good. All right. So, we could just, like I said, just, something, a little quick session there as I was reading that Revelation 12. So yeah, I was just in it there. So Lord will you edify. All right. But yeah, but the topic, what the main topic anyways was about Eve, or not even Eve, just in general, but we'll just say women. All right. But I guess Eve's the face of things right now, spazzing out about the SNAP benefits, and all these other things that come from it, waking, you know, the whole the one BBB, right? the 6 triple six. Okay, there's a lot of things that come from that. Things also like Section 8 are affected, and many other things that affect the elderly, and yeah, there's a lot of things in that BBB. Okay, that one BBB. Okay, but this is the main thing that they're spazzing out about. Okay, and there's like like the live stream was just on, the brothers playing the video. Okay, people, which it is a thing though. All right, people they get the stamps, they buy food, and then the rest of them they sell to get money, or some cases more money, so they can just have pleasure in themselves. Okay, so yeah, and you see a lot of these women, because the system is has been wrapped around the women, or not wrapped around, but she's been able to utilize the system. All right, and even in a lot of occasions against the man. Okay, so she's been affected very heavily, all right, by this system crashing. As of right now, it's just a government shutdown and this talk here. But ultimately, the Lord is crashing this place. Okay, and Eve jumped ship a long time ago to deal with the serpent. Okay, so whoever that help is gonna fall with them. Whoever's hoping, that's what hoping means help. It's gonna fall with them. Don't hand you in the hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished. So Eve's about to be humbled, right, in a very great way. But I'll leave it at that. Lord, will you edify? Shalom.